Uh, in the interest of time, we have uh, identified these four key design elements, which are essential to designing a CV. I am sure most of your questions, your doubts are around these four topics. So the first is most fundamental. Why should I make a CV? Right? What is the purpose of a CV? Why do I need to make it? Or I already have it, so why do I need to make it again? I made it some time back. I made it in the first year of my education. Now why should I make it again? So all those questions from the why part, right? Then the second bucket is for whom this CV is intended. Am I going to upload it on a job site? Am I going to mail it to the HR of a company? Am I going to mail it to the function head of a company? Am I mailing it to the head of an organization, right? Is it going to be processed through an automated platform like an applicant tracking system, right? So all those questions come in the home part. For whom am I preparing this? Then I think the third part, that is where I see, a lot of students get confused. Is there a one best format, right? Is there the most beautiful format which I can make using some fancy tool? And do recruiters look at the format while shortlisting my CV, right? So there is a lot of mystery around the right format. We will address all those questions there. The fourth part I find that is, hello? Yeah. So fourth part, I find that is the most neglected part in this whole CV design, which is, even though we create a good CV, but how am I sending it to the recipient, right? And believe you me, I received so many CVs. I'm sure some of you would have sent your CV to me. It's sent, the way it is sent, it is actually calling to be rejected, right? So which means starting from the file name, what you write in the mail, how you begin the mail, how you end the mail, or if you are sending it on WhatsApp, how do you send it, right? We will get into those points. Yeah, and we will also go through some of the quick tips, some of the tips. So let's start with the why part, right? Actually, if you get this part right, more or less your design is done, right? So when we conduct this session with college students, we ask them, please ask yourself the question, why are you making a CV? What is the purpose of a CV, right? And it's also essential that we realize that every time you are applying for a particular job or an internship or a project, or you're writing a graduate application, the purpose is different, right? So while it may come across that it needs a lot of hard work, and we would feel I have already created one very nice CV, so why should I need to make it again? But then you should compare that with the hard work required in following up and not getting a response, right? So if you do that as a assessment, you will get a clearer picture, right? So here the bulk of the effort comes in. Please research, and this is if I take the example of a CV for a job, so it's very easy. I mean, today you have so many job sites, right? So let's say somebody is preparing a CV for the application of a marketing manager, right? I mean, there are so many job roles for marketing manager, for specific industry, for a specific experience level, on available, right? You can go to the company website, find out what kind of marketing activities they are doing, right? The more you spend time here in the purpose part, the easier, and you are increasing the chances of you CV to be shortlisted and moving to the next stage, right? Third point, which all of you should note, that it's not actually so difficult to customize a CV, right? For example, many of you would have done multiple internships, right? And I will, if time permits, I will take you through one sample CV. But you don't need to mention all of those multiple internships into your every CV, right? So the internship which is most relevant for the job that you are applying, let's say you are applying for a digital marketing job, and you have done one internship related to digital marketing, you have done another internship related to something else. So focus more on the internship that you have done with digital marketing, right? You can also customize your CV through a different summary, through mentioning appropriate core skills, mentioning appropriate project, right? So the takeaway here is that you may have a lot of items that you want to showcase, but your CV is not a place where you have to bring everything in, right? Mention the relevant components. Yeah, this is extremely important. I can't overemphasize. The more you think about the purpose of your CV, try to customize it for the role. You are maximizing your chances for getting a response. The second part comes, who is the intended recipient of your CV, right? I see a lot of aspirants, especially the first-time job seekers, don't pay attention to this part. So the CV, we are not making the CV for ourselves. We are making the CV for somebody to whom this document will talk about us. We are not there to talk about us, right? Uh, uh, One check that you can apply when you have prepared your CV, just go through that CV as if somebody has sent that CV to you, and it's not your CV, right? Look at it from the receiver's eyes, right? Uh, Especially in case of fresher CVs, any job that comes in, there are hundreds of CVs that will come to a company. So what the companies have started doing, they all those CVs are fed to an applicant tracking system. It's an automated system. There is no HR person or anybody looking at the CVs. All the CVs are fed into that applicant tracking system, and based on the keywords, that system filters which are the CVs to be sent to the person who will be taking it forward. So which means you can find the keywords. Again, you can refer to the job sites or job description or company website and bring those keywords into your CV, right? Uh, uh, but many companies are still following the manual way. The CV will go to some person. So there, typically your CV gets about 6 to 7 seconds of attention, right? So the CV which comes to me, many freshers send the CVs to me. I don't take more than 5 to 6 seconds in going through the CV and deciding that file will be deleted or that file will be taken forward. Just about you have 5 to 6, maximum 7 seconds, especially in the case of first time job seekers, right? The third part, and this is what I guess I was going through the registrations, what people, the questions that most people have selected seem to be around this format part. So I will take some more time on this. So format, there is no mystery. And let me clarify, there is no one best format. If you look at 10 good CVs, you look at CVs from different colleges, you look at CVs from the best of the colleges, right? There is no one best format. So that is first point, I want all of you to please understand. There can be, what's important is the sequence, the structure, and looking at it from the receiver's perspective. Am I making the job of the receiver easier? Is it possible to pick up the key points, right? Is it possible to follow a structure? As long as you are getting a yes to all those questions, your format is right? But few key things I would like to point out. So your name, title, and contact information should be there at the very top of the CV, right? And here I find a lot of people mention their full postal address. Let me assure you that no recruiter is going to come to your home.